Hey everybody, it's Michael
And Stan.
from Chunky Peanut Butter, and today we are doing at least my opinion,
Yep.
three best games to play on Halloween.
Yeah.
And we're starting off with, of course,
Bully. The
Yes.
Halloween segment in Bully
Yes,
that they have.
it's the one mission called Halloween, and what I love about this game is that there were actual seasons and holidays.
yeah,
a little bit,
introducing the calendar so that way it changes
It
the
was
game.
it totally kind of put you into that whole high school realm again.
Whatever.
And I was fortunate enough to be in high school at the time this game came out, so
I had a lot of effect.
It was very exciting for me. Yes.
It gave you some hot tips and tricks for how to
tips and tricks
for getting through the senior year.
How to no scope 360
everyone
high
else.
School.
Yeah.
Yes. And it was really good. I really like this game. And honestly, this is one of my favorite villains. Is the guy dressed as the SS officer. I can never remember his name, but you play as Jimmy Hopkins, and in this mission, essentially what you have to do, the main mission, is on Halloween, none of the teachers are around, the prefects are gone, you got to pick on some kids. But there's two achievements you can get. They're not actual achievements unless you play on Xbox 360, and unfortunately we're playing this on the PS2. It's the PS2 version, but we did
before the system of trophies.
Yes, exactly. So what we did was I just went back and did. You have to do the pumpkin smashing, and you got to smash 19 gravestones. You have 27 pumpkins and 19 headstones to smash. So the first three actually start off inside your own bunkhouse or your dorm, yeah. And the bullies essentially kept me from leaving. It's really frustrating.
Yeah, it looked like he was pretty big. He was taking a chunk.
He's retarded as well. So when you go outside, none of the bullies, nobody bothers you. They all need your help because everybody wants to pull pranks. But you're not interested in pranks. You're interested in getting those 27 pumpkins, getting them out of the way. So what I did was just one flawless run of how to obtain and where to find them. So the first three are actually at the dorm room. So you're going to want to go
so inside.
Left and right side. You have one on the right and I think two on the left, and there's, of course, one pumpkin at the door. So it kind of makes it easy to miss them, but you have to pay attention. Everything else is going to be on your left. I kept checking on my right side after this. Everything else on the in the map is going to be on the left.
So you can just go do a circuit, essentially.
Pretty much. So there's the two pumpkins here. I had to switch my weapon to the slingshot, so that I could take those down.
Yeah, pick them out.
There's no other way to get them, I guess, unless you're really good at throwing the firecrackers. I don't know if you can blow them up firecrackers, to be honest with you. I never even tried.
Yeah.
So other than that, gravestones. It was actually. I kind of wish there were achievements during PS2 because this would have been kind of cool.
You had to kind of monitor your own personal progress.
Yeah, I spent the first before I even made this video. I spent about an hour a couple weeks ago trying to memorize the map so that I could just do this all in one flawless run because I kept forgetting where everything was.
Yeah.
I had 19 other things to think about other than the 27 pumpkins.
Do they give you a time or a countdown?
No, there's no timer, which is kind of nice.
Okay.
Actually, I think there might be a timer once you start doing pranks. After you do all the pranks, I believe that the night ends, you have to go to bed. Because normally in the game there is a bedtime, but being that this is Halloween and there's nobody around to tell you to go to bed, I think that's probably why the clock isn't there. Yeah, exactly. I would have loved to go to a private school like this. Yeah. This would have been my biggest dream, is to go to a private school where I could dress in uniforms.
It looks amazing.
It does.
Like the school, compared to our schools nowadays, we go and there's portables and really crappy classrooms.
It looks like
a
prison.
Oh, the AC doesn't work and everything's concrete. Yeah.
It's for some reason heated floors.
This is like the Cambridge of fucking.
It's
high
like
school.
Harvard of high school. Yeah. It's beautiful. I wanted so bad for something like this to happen, but I was senior year. So there's no way I was going to leave senior year to go to some prep school for 6 months and then come back. But if
Not to mention cost and whatever else.
But I honestly think that if I had asked, because my parents were more than excited all through high school to ask me if I wanted to go to a private school. And so right here, that's where I forgot, just to kind of go off the topic of what we were talking about. I forgot, so I went down that hallway. There was nothing down that hallway. But, just stay in the same route. There's a couple on the stairs, and there's a couple in the, whatever you call it, cafeteria, and then there's a couple upstairs. So just pay attention to that. Everything else is going to be upstairs. There's just the three leading to the staircase and the one kind of on the right. So as I was saying, but I would have loved to go to one of these, and I think my parents would have been more than happy to do so. I don't know if I would have enjoyed it, though. It wouldn't have been the same.
Well, yeah, it's definitely never the same as a video game.
No, absolutely
it may have
not.
been really a prep, school.
They romanticized it a lot in this game. They made it seem like those old mafia movies. Might not be that good of an idea to be a mobster.
Yeah.
But when you watch The Sopranos, that's a TV show, or you watch,
What is it,
Goodfellas,
Godfather.
Godfather.
Yeah.
I like Goodfellas better, to be honest with you.
Godfather's
good.
I know I'm going to commit a sin here, but I did not see either.
You what? No, it's okay.
I've not seen any.
It's more sinful to say that you hate one of the other
Okay.
than it is to say you've never seen
yeah.
it. It's fine that you've never seen it. I haven't seen all the Disney movies, and I'm sure that's god awful to every child that's 3 and under. But
that would be a sin to commit. People are diehard about their Disney.
They are.
Disney just got what is it? The Star Wars 7, 8, and 9.
Did they really?
They got the contract to do.
There's gonna be more Star Wars movies.
The I don't know what would be
my
epilogues or like the final 3 essentially.
Well, you know what? It's gotta go somewhere, and I'm not a fan of Star Wars, so that's fine. I'm gonna get a lot of flack for that. But I'm not gonna talk garbage about it. But yeah, here we go. So you're gonna find the other pumpkins over outside. Anything outside the school, pretty much in a big circle. It's not that hard to find. If you want to take the time to actually look this video over, you can memorize exactly my route. This is like the perfect route to take if you're going to go find all the pumpkins and all the gravestones. If you guys notice, I actually going to get the gravestones. I think here is where I get them. The last few. I think there's maybe 3. And so if you just follow my route, it's really easy to find them. I think I did it all in this is probably maybe a 6-minute segment. It's really not that long. So there you go. Secret unlocked. So what this does, when you get the pumpkin and you get the gravestones, they actually show up in your room. The cool thing about this game is the more missions you did, the more you followed the storyline, the more stuff would show up in your room.
Yeah. So whatever you did reflects in your environment.
Very cool. Like when you date a girl, for some reason, you get an article of clothing that pops up on your wall. Or if you
just steal something from her drawer and stick it up there.
Just to brag about all the stuff you did. So that was it. That's all the pumpkins and all the tombstones in Bully. We're moving on next to Silent Hill number 1.
Yes.
The very first one. I still had this game. I actually sold it when I was 13. Back to, not GameStop, but it was Hollywood Video.
Yeah.
And I got it back about a year ago. Went back and just bought it and it was $16. So the price has definitely gone up. It's not a $3 game anymore. And
well, it's got the cult following for a really good reason.
Yeah, very good game. Number 1, I have to say, it's still the scariest to me. I can still play that game with these shitty graphics and still get scared and pretend like I don't know what's going to happen next. It's weird.
It's the anticipation of this really weird, disgusting monster around any corner that is just going to tear your guts out.
And then the other thing is, there's a really big. I'm not saying I'm a Satanist or anything. That's not what I'm saying. It's just intriguing about the biblical references that are in here. Well, there's a lot of the demonic biblical, and so it's cool and intriguing and scary, kind of like any possession movie. Now that doesn't make you a Satanist because you watch possession movies. They're just scary as fuck. I can't even watch any possession movie. It creeps me out too bad. But I can play this. This is borderline for me, so I can go, oh, this is interesting.
Well, I think games are scarier because they immerse you in the experience of actually oh, I'm going to die. You think you're going to die because you put yourself in that character's...
And I hope they keep staying with the shitty controls. I honestly do. The shitty controls add to that, oh my god, I'm going to die. I need to get out of here.
I can't... Oh, my crowbar. I can't aim this shit.
But it wasn't this one actually. I like the controls on it, but the number 2, I felt like the controls were a little bit
shoddier.
Shaky, yeah.
Well, I think the controls are always supposed to reflect who the character is that you're playing. So, for instance, in Homecoming, the 5th one, he's really good with a whole bunch of weapons, the main character, and that's because he has supposed military training. But I really liked all of them. I haven't played 1 all the way through, but I played 3, 4, and 5.
1 is very good. You have to play 1 all the way through. The ending's a little weird. I have to admit, even playing it now, when I get to the end, I have no idea what I'm doing. I get to the very final boss, and I'm like, wait, how do I kill this thing? And it's so hard because your weapons work, your guns and stuff, but the idea supposedly is not to actually kill her because it's your daughter.
Yeah. And
I don't know how to do it. I've never figured it out. I don't get it. I know that you're right. You have to have a good ending for her to be alive at the end. Yeah. But it's still very weird, very great game.
Throughout each game, there's a mini test of morality, or a series of them that you have to go through to choose your ending.
Yes, definitely. And it's kind of cool because you see these different characters in the game. I noticed that in number 1, number 2, and 3, you meet characters, but they're all it's as if those characters aren't actually there.
Yeah.
They're just kind of like another part of your imagination, or maybe they are there and they're
another perspective on the reality that's going on
exactly
in these situations.
And number 2, I kind of felt like the people you met there, because they were all kind of criminals. The little girl, the boy, and the alternate version of your wife.
Yeah.
They were all kind of there to kind of pay for their sins, as if they'd all done something wrong.
Yeah.
And they were all sent to Silent Hill to kind of do whatever it was.
Whatever penance. Yeah. Well, that's, one of the big, I think, themes that they have going on is that there was this, horrible crime committed against the Alessa character. Mm-hmm. And she's essentially punishing everyone in her nightmare for whatever they've done. And different monsters represent different aspects of people that she's met who have wronged her.
Yeah, definitely. I like that.
Yeah, it's really deep and rich, and that's important to have in a game, and you don't see it too often.
No.
So
Silent Hill is kind of one of those games, although not all of them are the greatest, is one of those games that kind of stuck to their story. They all kind of tie in together, and I didn't really see that until playing number 3. And I love that even in every game, you still have to collect clues. Like here, you got to find stuff, articles of, drawings and stuff from your daughter. I did feature a little bit of play where, I hit a dog with a pipe, a couple knife play, and then right there, if you die, if you don't save, you need to save. You will have to do it all over again.
Game over.
And you will be just as scared as the first time. So here we go. Double Fine Productions, Costume Quest.
100% Halloween
Last
game.
but not least, greatest game.
Greatest.
Yes, my favorite Halloween game.
Well, it is pure in its attack of the Halloween motif. It is Halloween.
Yeah,
you're doing Halloween.
The whole night is Halloween. The whole game takes place Halloween night. And the game is actually about you, Reynold or Ren. You play as either one of those characters. You have to choose one. Ren is the girl. Reynold is the boy, of course.
Yeah, the brother and sister.
One of them gets taken away by these things called Grubbins, which are monsters that have essentially taken over the town. And the only way to fight these Grubbins is to go door to door and trick or treat. And when you trick or treat, the lights go out of the house. You can't go back and trick or treat again. But you basically gain candy. Candy is kind of your currency. We'll go into that later. But each house you go into, it's either you get candy or you kind
combat.
of wait. Yeah, or combat. And you kind of wait in anticipation because sometimes combat will get really boring. You can't wait to just go trick or treat. Sometimes trick or treating gets boring. And you can't wait to just get into a fight. So, because you get candy out of the way. You get candy if you fight the Grubbins. You don't get candy, or you get candy if you just go trick or treating.
Yeah, and they're obsessed with candy. The Grubbins, that's what they want.
They are there to take over the world's candy source, and the idea is that they're providing energy for their ultimate boss. I can't remember his name. He looks like a giant skeleton. You have to battle him at the very end. Great game, guys. Double Fine Productions. I think this was $15 when I got it, and I believe it might have actually gone down. It's on the PSN network and the Xbox Live game store. Marketplace, whatever. Just go check it out and definitely play this game. God, it's my favorite. So it's turn-based combat. You have to get like a team of friends. Eventually, you end up having 4 friends. You immediately get a friend at the very beginning after doing one of the main quests, and each one
has a costume.
Yeah, each one has a costume. You become that costume, and each one has a special ability. Like the robot was the rockets. This one's a shield. You can protect either yourself or your friend with, I think it's like 10% shield advance, and that does make a huge difference. You can get like a 30 hit point hit on yourself or a 10, depending on that shield.
Now, this reminds me a lot of childhood, because when I was a little kid, when I imagined that I was something, it was like that.
Yeah.
I became that thing.
Yes, exactly. That's what my favorite part was. Now, here you're going to meet kids, like those kids were like the presidential kids. You get to help out at a bake sale, and best thing of all, just to keep you to the added bonus that you're not going to get bored of this game, you can play some mini games to get more candy. I think there's more mini games as you go through. This, you get to go bob for apples, and every time you do it, you still get this endless supply of candy. And but yeah, I totally know what you mean. I always wanted to dress in like some fantastic costume. I was always like somebody from Mortal Kombat. That was my favorite thing.
I was always a character from StarCraft because I played PC games as a kid.
Really?
Yes.
That's awesome.
So the Protoss were my ideal.
Protoss.
Yeah.
Is Protoss the aliens?
They are the aliens that are like humanoidish, and they have the guys with like the beam saber sword arm parts that stab.
Now here you can buy stamps, and these stamps kind of add to your abilities. You can get like a better HP hit points. You can do one that has splash damage, one that actually does like a return hit every time that you get hit, and one that dodges. So everybody, this is Michael
and Stan
from Chunky Peanut. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Happy Halloween. Have a great day, and we'll see you